So, you just got your fancy new iPhone 7 and it's gorgeous. It's a beautiful smartphone with a ton of interesting features. And in this video, I'm going to show you 7 apps and games that will take full advantage of it. So number 1 is Adobe Lightroom. And this is hands down one of the most sophisticated photo editing tools on the entire iOS. It works for beginners because you've got all your standard presets, and these are professionally made to make the photos just look impressive. But then under the hood, we've got absolutely tons of tweaks. Everything from exposure to clarity to brightness to adjusting the scour of the image. It's got a couple of interesting features as well. You can change the sense of depth in the photo, and you can also refocus your camera lens. In terms of cropping and rotating, all of that stuff is also included, pretty much everything you'd want to do on your phone. The app gets even better for iPhone 7 users because it allows you to take raw photos that haven't been compressed and have even higher quality than the standard ones. So the second one is a game called Breakneck. Now it kind of sounds really odd. In fact, it is really odd, but it's innovation at its finest. At its core, the objective is simple. All you have to do is to just hit each of the colored circles. But that's much easier said than done. Contrary to its charming art style, it's a furiously difficult game. As you progress through, more and more obstacles will come your way, and you've got to avoid all of them. When you start the game, it doesn't really explain anything, and the way the line moves can seem unpredictable. But the more you get into it, the more you start to understand how it works, and just when you thought you'd mastered it, it gets even harder. And as if it wasn't complicated enough, you use the 3D touch on the iPhone 7 to make the ink thicker or thinner, and that's crucial to success. There's a ton of challenges to keep you going, and it's just a great game all around. Number 3 is Star Guide. And this is a bit of an odd one because I can bet my bottom dollar that 90% of you don't give two monkeys about stars right now. But after downloading this app, you might just start to care. It's beautifully presented. You scroll around this slick representation of the universe looking at star constellations. And this is fact, so you do actually start to learn about how they work and how they form constellations. On top of that, it's a musical experience. Tapping on the stars creates sounds based on how large they are. And yet again, it's even better on the iPhone 7 now thanks to Force Touch. Pressing down on the screen just that little bit hard opens up a lens, and you can toggle through gamma rays, visible light, ultraviolet, X-ray, and so much more. Number 4 is the Roll, and this takes full advantage of Siri's new and improved integration with third-party apps. I'll explain a bit later. Essentially, it's a smarter version of the camera roll. The first time you boot it up, it'll automatically sort your photos into ones that are related to each other, ones that are taken in the same place, and even ones that have the same people in them. It can understand what's in the photos. For example, you could search for a hand, or a leaf, or a certain color, or a certain timestamp. And it even integrates with Siri. So as an example, you could ask Siri to show you photos which have grass in them, or show you photos which are primarily blue in color. And through the Roll, it can do that. Next up is Google Motion Stills. So you might know that with the new iPhone 7, you can now take live photos, which instead of capturing a single frame, takes a small segment of time. So with Google Motion Stills, you can now fully manipulate them. It has inbuilt stabilization, you can add text, and you can thread them together to create a little movie, which you can export as a video file or a GIF. So I've kind of been saving the best till last. This is InLight, and after using this, I actually found it difficult to use any other editor on iOS. It's got the depth of a program like Lightroom, but at the same time also personality. Now it sounds like a bit of a weird thing to say, but one thing that kept popping into my head while I was using it is the quality of the filters. You can just tell when you apply some of these effects that so much work has gone behind them. They look really realistic and can, with one press, totally transform your image. Aside from that, it's a pretty standard photo editor. You've got some unusual brush types and also all the other fine-tuning you'd expect. So as I was saying earlier, saving the best till last. This is Breakneck, and it's a fast, furious racing game. Now, while it may not sound exciting, you're essentially racing against yourself and some unknown, unseen enemy that's trying to kill you. I assure you, it's an awesome game. The idea is simple. You're escaping from an enemy, and to get as far away as possible, you've got a boost. But to charge the boost, you've got to edge against walls, which is dangerous. Doing so earns you money, which you can use to buy power-ups, buy new skins for your vehicle, and then you can also compete online in competitions. So this is also a 3D touch game. Pressing harder on one side of the phone will make the ship turn faster. But can we just take a second to look at the graphics of this game? It is glorious. So just before we wrap this video up, a quick tip. Most of you will have heard of the app called Shazam, which is used to find out what music is playing in the background. And now with Force Touch on the iPhone 7, you don't even need to open the app to Shazam. So guys, those were 7 apps and games, or 8, that you just need to download on the iPhone 7, and they're made better either because of its features, its software, or its performance. With that being said, thanks a ton for watching, it really means a lot to me. I'm Mr. Who's the Boss, and I'm signing out.